Imagine waking up one morning, but there's no sunlight. The sky is black, thick with ash and fog. The birds are silent. The crops have failed. The world feels like it's ending. The calendar says 1816, but history would remember it by a different name: the year without a summer. This isn't poetry. It really happened. In 1816, summer never came. The sun vanished for weeks. Crops withered, people starved, and the world plunged into fear and chaos. But why? What happened that year to make the world go dark? The chain of events began a year earlier, in April 1815, on a remote island in Indonesia. There, Mount Tambora erupted in one of the largest volcanic explosions in recorded history. The blast was so powerful, its sound traveled over 2,000 kilometers. The eruption sent ash, gases, and debris high into the atmosphere, so high it reached the stratosphere. But no one could have predicted what would follow. By 1816, that volcanic cloud had spread around the globe, wrapping the earth in a thick, sun-blocking haze. What followed was a worldwide climate disaster. In the United States, summer snowstorms hit New England. In France, lakes and rivers froze in June. In China, floods ruined rice crops. In the Ottoman Empire, droughts and epidemics spread. Farmers lost everything. Millions went hungry. And across the world, people began to whisper, "Is this the end?" There was no science yet to explain what was happening. People turned to religion, superstition, and fear. Some believed it was divine punishment. Others feared it was the apocalypse. But from this darkness, new light emerged, in the form of literature and art. In Switzerland, a group of writers were trapped indoors during the cold, dark summer of 1816. Among them, Mary Shelley, Percy Bysshe Shelley, and Lord Byron. With nothing else to do, they began to write by candlelight. That summer, Mary Shelley gave birth to one of the most iconic horror stories in history, Frankenstein. Lord Byron wrote a poem called Darkness, describing a world where the sun had died. The bright sun was extinguished, and the stars did wander, darkling in the eternal space. Even painters began depicting darker, stormier scenes. Music became more somber. The entire tone of culture shifted, influenced by a sky that refused to shine. It would take over a century for scientists to explain what truly happened. The eruption of Mount Tambora released over 150 million tons of sulfur into the atmosphere. This formed a sulfate aerosol layer in the stratosphere, a giant mirror that reflected sunlight away from Earth. The result? A dramatic drop in global temperatures, a volcanic winter. And it wasn't the first, nor the last. Similar events are still possible today. Scientists warn that another supervolcanic eruption could cause global agricultural collapse, economic chaos, and mass migration. While Tambora is the main culprit, some scientists point to other factors too: an unusual minimum in solar activity, disruptions in the Earth's magnetic field. Even comet dust or asteroid impacts have been considered. And of course, there are the conspiracy theories. Secret experiments? Early geoengineering? Alien contact? Most of these are speculative. But one thing remains true. The world in 1816 changed dramatically, and we are still learning from it. The summer of 1816 reminds us of something powerful. We do not control nature. Nature controls us. One massive eruption thousands of kilometers away was enough to block the sun, starve nations, and send the world into darkness, both literal and emotional. So the next time you see the sunrise, remember the year it didn't come. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the strangest years in human history, subscribe to All Scope, where we explore everything from ancient mysteries to future science. Because here, nothing is off scope.